May it be said of us, like with Enoch, that we were pleasing to God. Susie Hawkins, women's ministry speaker and author. Preface. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5, which states that Enoch pleased God before his translation to heaven, is one of the most important verses in my life. I have written many books, two of which have similar titles: Believing God, based on the people of faith in Hebrews chapter 11, and Worshiping God, based on Philippians chapter 3, verse 3, we worship by the Spirit of God. However, as I look back on all of these books, I am surprised that I have yet to write about this important subject: how to please God. Pleasing God is a handbook for practical Christian living, a book about how to live a rich Christian life. It is written to reflect on some of my life as pastor at Westminster Chapel from 1977 to 2002, and as an itinerant minister since retiring in 2002. My 25 years at Westminster were, to recall the words of Charles Dickens, the best of times and the worst of times. I fondly remember the greatest compliment I received during my time there from Ernie Padden, the church secretary. In England, the church secretary is the major deacon, who is right next to the pastor in terms of responsibility and leadership. He and his wife would often say to me, "You taught us how to live." Ernie was my chief prayer intercessor and committed to pray for me an hour a day, which he did for most of my time at Westminster. He and his wife were stalwart supporters and my greatest encouragers. I dedicate this book to their memory. This is my second recent book with Thomas Nelson. It has been an honor to work with the legendary Stan Gundry. Dale Williams, my acquisitions editor, has actually become a friend. Emily Voss, who is in charge of publicity, likewise has been a delight to work with. Daniel Saxton, the production editor for this title, has been sharp in offering appropriate suggestions. I am humbled and grateful that Susie Hawkins has kindly written the foreword to this book. OS and Susie have been among the closest friends of my wife and myself for over 40 years. My debt to both of them is incalculable. My greatest debt and thanks, however, is to my wife, Louise, my best friend and critic. R.T. Kendall, Nashville, Tennessee. Introduction. What is this book about? This book is not about God pleasing us. God can do that, of course. Indeed, He loves to do this. But this book has a different focus. Neither does the title of this book intend to convey that God wants us to see how nice He is. Some may wish that God exists merely to please us. But the God of the Bible is not like that. Rather, I am gripped by what is written about an ancient man named Enoch. We are not told that God pleased Enoch. No doubt he did, but what we know is that Enoch pleased God. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5. The greatest honor of anyone's lifetime is to have the privilege of pleasing God. But there is more. Why should God care whether we please Him? For only one reason. He loves us. Why should we matter? Because He loves us. To return our love for God by pleasing Him is a privilege greater than receiving the Nobel Peace Prize or being honored by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and yet it is a privilege offered to all of us. I grew up continually hearing the story I'm about to tell you. When my mother was 6 months pregnant with me, my parents were listening to a sermon in a Nazarene church. My father was so moved by the preaching that he put his hand on my mother's tummy and prayed, "Lord, please let me have a son that will preach like this man." 19 years later, I was a student at Trevecca Nazarene College in Nashville, Tennessee, while also serving as a pastor of a Nazarene church in